Good morning. This is Judge Alyssa Perez presiding over the 210th District Court Civil Docket for October 4th, 2023. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all emergency orders and directives and are being live streamed via YouTube for public viewing. Mr. Marufo, would you call our first case, please?
Yes, Judge. Top of page 1, Judge. In cause number 2021 DCV 3771, Yuri Hernandez versus Jennifer Amaro. Announcement of counsel, please.
Good morning, Jonathan Baez on behalf of Janila Labanati for the plaintiff.
Randy Grambling on behalf of the defendant, Your Honor.
So I have this down for entry of judgment, and I'm not exactly looking at your case on Odyssey, but you're both here, and I bet it's been said before. So how are we doing?
The check, I talked to the insurance person. The check has been issued. It's on its way. I've not delivered it to Jonathan yet, but I should have it probably early next week, maybe late this week, but probably first part of next week.
Okay. So I'm going to put it for a 30-day reset and anticipate hearing something from you all sooner than that. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Take care, guys.
Thank you, Judge.
One more.
Oh, yeah, one more. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Yes, Judge. On page 3, second on page 3, Judge.
3. Okay.
In cause number 2022 DCV 1483, Jose Carlos Vega and Maria Gomez Vega versus Evelina Medrano. Announcement of counsel, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Manny Morgan on behalf of the plaintiff.
Morning.
Randy Grambling on behalf of the defendant, Your Honor.
Final civil pretrial. How are we doing? I'll ask if it went to mediation.
Your Honor, the case has not gone to mediation. I'm hoping that we can mediate it. We've exchanged discovery on it, and so I'm just waiting to hear from Mr. Grambling if we're going to need to do depots or mediate it.
Well, let me get into this case. Give me a second. 1483.
Judge, is there any chance we can move the trial date to either January or February? We'll get it either resolved or ready to go by then.
Well, here's my thing. I mean, we had our discovery control plan entered in January of this year, and the deadline to mediate was yesterday. And there's nothing been done on this. So why?
I don't have an excuse for you, Your Honor.
Y'all are set for trial on November 10th.
That's correct, Your Honor, and I think
January, February, we'll get it done by then.
I'm going to leave everything as is. I mean, you've not complied with the court's discovery order, which you all agreed to. See you on docket call November 8th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next.
Bottom of page 1, Judge.
Yes.
In cause number 2021 DCV 2014, David Lara versus Derek D. Cox, MD. Announcement of counsel, please.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Scott Mann for the defendant, Your Honor.
Okay, was that Mr. Melendez? I'm sorry, it sounded like it cut out.
Yes, Your Honor.
We're also here for a final civil pretrial. So before I ask the question, if you all went to mediation, I do see there's a joint motion for continuance.
Your Honor, yes, and we, as you pointed out to prior counsel, and Mr. Melendez, if you don't mind me addressing this, and you can jump in since it's your client. As the court can tell from the motion we filed last week, although a lot of times when we ask for continuances, it's our fault. This one I think is different because I have noticed the plaintiff for deposition multiple times. And as the court can tell from our motion, and I actually attached evidence, he has either been in the hospital or been sick or on dialysis. And if Mr. Melendez tells me something, it's gospel to me, and I have no reason to doubt everything is true. I've never gone and tried to get hospital records or anything like that. The last time, Your Honor, I had him set on September 7th. It was canceled that morning, right before we were about to do it. So We've already exchanged written discovery. We've designated 5 experts. I've got 3, he's got 2. They just need to review his transcript, and then I think we're ready to go. It's really just this deposition that keeps getting pushed for what I believe is probably a good reason. If you're in a hospital or you're on dialysis or sick. So that's my plea to the court, Judge.
So I was just looking, I had not fully reviewed the joint motion. I see that there and I'm hearing you today. I looked at the motion for continuance from back in January. Seemed to be the same reason. So I need to get a little more information. I mean, how likely, I don't see a suggestion in your joint motion in terms of a turnaround time. It's an old case. It's a 2021 case. Well, it's old for me. So,
Mr. Melendez would probably know more about his clients.
that's what I want to know. I mean, it's not going to really give me a lot of heartache to put it around September or I guess about a year out. But it seems like we're in the same position and have been for quite a bit. So, and have you all mediated?
Robert, I'm gonna just kind of add my 2 cents. So Mr. Matt is right. So Mr. Lara has a very narrow window in terms of his availability because he's on dialysis Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we try to schedule it on Tuesday and Thursday. Otherwise, his testimony is just, not real good during after dialysis or before. And then every time we're ready to go, I get a text that he's in ICU with sepsis. He's not in a doctor's office or not feeling good. He's actually in the hospital in an ICU thing because of his condition. He's not very old. It's just that he's in very poor health. So, and I'm always surprised when I get these texts where he's at. So Mr. Mann, of course, is always accommodating. There's nothing we can do about that part. And so there's a series of cases that Mr. Mann and I have been, a group of cases that we've been able to resolve without mediation, but I know they need the plaintiff's deposition as part of that process. They can't give a correct, recommendation for settlement purposes until they have that. So in the meantime, Mr. Mann and I have designated our experts. I've got an expert ready to go, a professor. He's got his professors ready to go. So we've did everything we can except taking the depositions. So in the meantime, what we've done, at least in the past, and I don't want to jinx it, is we've been able to resolve these cases following the deposition of the plaintiff, not even having to take the defendant's deposition. So I feel, I don't want to jinx it. Maybe this isn't the one case that's not going to go that route, but so that's just my
the one case where in a year, I'm going to come back to the YouTube video because I keep all of them and I'm going to say that you told me, you jinxed it. And okay, look, this is what I want to do because it's, considering, I guess, your client's health, it's difficult for me to kind of work around something that is just unknowable. I am going to, obviously, we're going to reset this. We will reset it for a year out. So we will go into September 27th, 2024. I don't know that I need you all to come back in terms of, it sounds like everything is wrapped up per the last scheduling order. We just need to get a deposition done. I will also include a mediation deadline for my purposes, understanding everything you've told me today. Other than that, I don't really feel like I need to do anything else in terms of a scheduling order. I want to only put a deposition deadline of April 1st, 2024. And so we'll do April 1st, and then we will have let's just do a status conference on April 3rd. So I will find out directly from you all if there has continued to be the same issues getting it scheduled or if it was accomplished, and you will already have your trial date if we need to go that route. And if we need to look at a mediation deadline, we'll look at that as well. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Myrna, with that, obviously we need to have the docket call on that Wednesday before. All righty. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Take
Yes.
care. Who's next?
Second on page 2, Judge,
Mhm.
in cause number 2022, DCV 0479, Maria Barraza versus Samuel Guerrero. Announcement of council, please.
John Carlos Serna for plaintiff, Maria Barraza.
Cliff Jessup here for
Mr.
defense.
Serna, I don't know if you need to look directly at the camera because we only got like 20% of that audio. You want to announce again just so I can check your audio?
Your Honor, John Carlos Serna for plaintiff, Maria Barraza. Still not
Yeah, it's really cutting out.
trying to
I
get
hear
ahead.
who you are, but it's not helping my court reporter here. 04. Get there. Let's try that.
Good morning. Does this work, Your Honor?
That's outstanding. All righty. Okay, and I believe Mr. Jessup announced we are set for final, are we at a final civil pretrial? Yes, we are.
We are, Your Honor.
Got our trial in November. I see there's something filed this morning. What is?
There
so-
is a joint.
Go ahead, Mr. Jessup.
There's a joint motion to continue filed. There's one evidentiary issue we're trying to work through. We filed the motion to continue based on that. I did file an objection and motion to exclude a medical billing record affidavit. If the court were to grant that, we'd be ready. If not, we're going to need some additional time. We did mediate this case in September, Judge.
Okay,
But the mediation was suspended because of that issue with that particular provider.
when were those filed, Mr. Jessup? The only thing I'm seeing from yesterday is a witness list. Oh, wait, hold on.
The 9/7 is when we filed the objection.
Got it.
And then I think the continuance was filed yesterday.
Got it. Okay.
Mediation was 9/6.
Correct.
And Your Honor, we're also trying to work with that provider to get a better understanding of the issue with the billing. I'm actually hopeful that we can figure something out and actually get this settled with Mr. Jessup once we're able to work with that provider.
And Judge, the issue, I mean, not to argue it now, but the issue that we're having, Your Honor, is that the affidavit produced shows that there's a large amount of money still owed to the provider, even though the billing records attached show that they were actually paid by Medicare and those amounts were actually paid, but they're still saying that it's owed. So it's making evaluation impossible. That's why we moved to strike it, along with some technical issues with regards to how the affiant says that they're the custodian records for themselves. So we're moving to strike those. If we can't strike those, Judge, we do need to do some more discovery on why that provider accepted payment, but still insists that they're owed additional money, Judge.
And you all are set for trial. I see that there are several things. I believe, Mr. Jessup, I think they're all defendants' motions that were filed. Some may need a hearing, some may not. Some, if you want to do them by submission, I don't see responses on some of these, but it also sounds like you all will continue to talk. This is what I need to know just because of the court's availability for October, is if you are requesting a hearing on that, on any of these things that were filed, I guess, from the 7th of September through this morning or today, that you make that request now so we can schedule it. I'm thinking for the 25th of October. We will be in an extended murder trial starting next week. So I want to give you a hearing date. You all can continue to talk. Maybe there is no need for the hearing date, but I want to reserve it now because I know we're going to be extremely busy.
For the 25th of October, Judge?
Yes. Mhm.
I'm in trial starting on Monday on the 23rd, but I should be done by the 25th. I can have an associate, so that's fine, Judge, if we have to do that.
Okay, let's set that for just a motions hearing on the 25th at 11 a.m. via Zoom.
Your Honor, I actually have I have depositions all day on the 25th. The 23rd, 24th, 26th, wide open.
We can do the 26th at 1:30.
Okay.
Do we have jury selection that day? Anyone? Myrna or Mr. Marufo?
Yes, we do, Judge.
Is it a? Okay, so with Tommy, let me just see the special setting. That one, they filed a continuance, so I think we're good to go on that. Okay, so we can do the 26th at 1:30.
That
Mr.
works, Judge. I have a final conference with you on that same time, so that's perfect.
On the 26th on Thursday?
I thought so. Let me see.
Maybe it's the other Perez.
Hmm,
I generally only see you all civil guys on Wednesdays.
okay, all right. I might-
Okay, all right.
All right.
So let's just secure that date, see what you all figure out between then, and just let me know exactly if there are things that need to be heard on that date, what it is that we're hearing. Okay,
All right, just, do we need us to reach out to court and set those motions for hearing now, or is that what we're doing right now?
we're gonna set the hearing. I just want to know ahead of time, because there's so many different things filed here. I haven't gone through everything, what it is you will actually need to have heard
Sounds good.
that day. And if you don't need the hearing, let us know too, so we can cancel.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Serna, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, good luck, guys. Take care.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
Who's next?
Judge, we have incomplete parties. May I identify one more individual?
Sure.
Peña Okelet.
Nia Olet, I just saw your chat. I was responding to it. I'm here for On Deck versus Gerardo Perez, the receivership hearing.
Okay. On behalf of Mr. Dalrymple?
No, I'm on behalf of On Deck.
Okay.
I think Mr. Beal is only on his, the only one on his, right?
Yes, Judge, I reached out to Mr. Riojas, left a message, no one answered.
Oh, I was getting your case confused with another one. Well, let me ask this. I think I scheduled this because you all had a mediation deadline yesterday. Mr. Beal, did you have any kind of update?
Judge, the mediation didn't happen. I kind of lost a little control of my client. I'd like to, we're trying to reschedule it. And yeah, that's what I have.
Let me see.
I don't have time right now. Can you have a seat? I'll be ready to check.
Well,
I'm on the verge of filing a motion to withdraw, Judge, but yeah.
you're set for trial and you're set for trial on Friday.
Monday.
Friday is jury selection. So yeah, we need Mr. Riojas here. Oh, we'll get back to you. I was thinking it was the other case you had, Mr. Beal, that's just you.
Okay.
All right, who's next?
Judge, I also have Mr. Gonzalez here, but I'm missing Miss Heller. I also left a message for Yuri Heller.
Yes, good morning, Judge Bernie Gonzalez for the plaintiff. Judge, Mr. Heller, told me he was going to have a conflict this morning, and I told him that I'd be glad to visit with you this morning. Judge, on 9/6/23, about 3 weeks ago, at the last hearing, we proposed a motion to continue for you, which you orally granted for us. And a new DCO is being prepared, Judge. We've got an April trial date. We got a new DCO, and Mr. Heller has it right now, and he said he would get it signed and get it back to me sometime today. So we should have the new DCO for you very quickly.
Let's see. Agreed, motion, witness list. We'll go ahead and put Myrna entry a scheduling order for 1 week, 3 p.m. That's just for us to keep track of that, Mr. Gonzalez, and then obviously that will have all our new dates and we'll get you the new settings. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
Your Honor. Thank you so much. What date would that be, Your Honor?
1 week from today would be the 11th.
The 11th.
Uh-huh.
At what
So
time?
basically that's just the court's marker. If you all have it completed, return it to the court signed, then we don't have a hearing. Okay.
Judge, thank you. Will Myrna send us an order giving us the time for that hearing?
Yes. It'll be 3 p.m.
Your Honor, thank you very much.
Have a good day.
You too.
Who's next?
Bottom of page 3, Judge.
Mhm.
In cause number 2019 DCV 3332 On Deck Capital Inc. versus Gerardo Perez et al. Announcement of council, please.
Tania Olet for the plaintiff On Deck.
Your
Good morning.
Honor,
Oh, yes.
Deborah Fisher is here not for Gerardo Perez, the defendant, but for his father, Gerardo Perez Sr., just to make sure that his interests are protected.
Okay, give me 1 second. Pull up the case. Good morning, Miss Fisher. Good morning, Miss.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Is this one where Mr. Perez Jr. had previously appeared? I can't recall. Let me go into the case and look at them. I don't see anything here. All right, Miss Alyssa, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. So we're asking the court to take judicial notice of our motion to appoint the receivership, which includes the default judgment that was signed on June 24th, 2020 in the amount of $20,503.54. The post-judgment discovery was sent to the defendant via regular certified mail on July 22nd, 2022. As of today, the defendant has not responded and the judgment remains unsatisfied. We filed our motion and sent a copy to the defendant on October 13th, 2022, which also included a copy of the receiver's resume. Notice of the hearing was sent to the defendant. However, it appears that the defendant has failed to appear or provide any objections to this receivership. So
Hold on a second. When was that notice sent?
let me see. Give me just a second, Your Honor. Because we make notes. When did I sign this? On September the 7th.
Okay, and how was it sent?
We usually send it by regular mail, Your Honor. USPS. We don't do tracking on all of our hearings.
You said you usually, I mean, is that what is reflected in your notes?
It just says it was mailed. So if we didn't put a tracking number, then it wasn't submitted first class. Well, I guess the certified mail with the green card or tracking number. Because I know some courts require it and some don't. And normally Dallas does El Paso, but we've created a new team, so we're not quite sure how El Paso likes to have their hearing notices mailed to the defendants. So we just sent it regular mail.
Let me ask really quickly. Hold on, Ms. Alyssa. Mr. Marufo, Ms. Hernandez, have we received any communications from Mr. Perez?
I have not, Judge.
No, ma'am.
Okay, did we by any chance send any type of notice regarding today's hearing? Did we have any information? I don't know why I'm wanting to think that this person has appeared before. I could be wrong.
I'm checking, Judge.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Alyssa, while we look at it.
So we're just asking the court to appoint Robert Jenkins as the receiver with no bond with the receivership's fee of 25% of the funds recovered.
Okay, I am going to ask Ms. Alyssa, I hope I'm saying that right.
Yes.
I would like to get notice with confirmation of some type of delivery or whatever they do with that green card that makes it magical and give some type of information regarding if that item is actually served or status of it. I know sometimes I've seen lately they've been doing with some kind of like online where I don't know if it's a return of a green card, but even that is good enough. Something that indicates I'm going to put this 45 days out just to make sure you have enough time to send, receive, confirm. And quite frankly, unless something changes and you actually need the hearing, once I have confirmation and we go past that date, we're good to go. We're good to go. So if you'll just do that, we'll get that reset for 45 days. And if you have that information ahead of time, feel free to submit it via email to the court.
Perfect, John. May I have that date so that we can give that information to the defendant in our letter? And we'll do the tracking, because I know with that, you can go online and see if it was actually delivered to that address. Yeah.
November 15th?
November 15th?
At 10 a.m.
At 10 a.m. Okay,
pass
perfect, Your Honor. I will have my litigation assistant get that sent out and get it to the court as soon as possible.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. May I be excused?
You may. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ms. Fisher. Who's
Thank
next?
you, Your Honor.
Have a good day.
Bottom of page 2, Judge. In cause number 2019 DCV 4385, Dora Peña Marquez et al. Versus Ryan Rashad Howard, Optimal Logistics LLC, and Optimal Logistics LLC. Announcement of council, please.
Humberto Enriquez, Your Honor, on behalf of plaintiffs.
Good morning, Your Honor. Joseph Vasquez, representing Mr. Ryan Howard.
Good morning, Your Honor. Enrique Lopez, representing defendant Optimal.
Morning, gentlemen. I have us down for a motion for continuance. How are we doing? We're also set for docket call.
Judge, I filed the motion for continuance. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, my uncle is being buried in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I'm driving my mom up there. And we're staying the weekend. And for that reason, I'm asking the court for a continuance.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Your Honor.
Let me get an update. How are we doing? Yes, Mr. Lopez.
I didn't file a motion for continuance, but I'm here at the 409th, and I'm also scheduled for a jury trial on a criminal case out of the 409th. I'm not sure if I'm going. There's several defendants listed, but on the abundance of caution, I may join in with Mr. Vasquez's motion for continuance.
I did not see Mr. Enriquez and a position on this, Mr. Enriquez.
Yeah, Mr. Lopez, last time we had a hearing, Your Honor, maybe about a month ago or so, Mr. Lopez was trying to get insurance information and file a claim directly with his client's carrier that was insuring the vehicle involved in the accident. I have not heard from him since. Mr. Lopez, any luck, any headway in trying to get coverage for your client?
We did locate the policy and or the person that issued the policy to my client. It was under another business. And as we speak, Mr. Arenas, who owns the other business, went directly to the location to get exact information, which I should be able to forward to you maybe as early as today.
Wow. Okay. Judge, my position is I want to get my client coverage so that they get paid. There's no point in me trying a case and getting a judgment against Mr. Vasquez's client and Mr. Lopez's client if insurance is not available to them. And I think that I would put them in a predicament legally as far as their clients are concerned, because their insurance, if they do have insurance, and I don't know that that's the case, but if they do have insurance and I get a judgment against these folks, they're not going to honor the judgment because they weren't involved in the process. So they will, I'm sure the first thing they're going to do is send me a letter saying that they're going to look at it under restoration of rights, and then we'll take it from there. As much as I want my client to have her day in court and get this thing resolved, I think the right thing to do is give Mr. Lopez a little bit of time to get me that information so that I can file a claim directly with whoever the carrier is. It's been, good God, it's been years since we've been doing this, and I don't know why it's taken so long, but this is where we're at this point. And I just think that I would put my client at a disadvantage if I just go in there and take a judgment against these folks.
So in terms of the information that you need, Mr. Enriquez, how far along are we, Mr. Lopez?
Your Honor, I've been urging my client that it's actually to his benefit to get this policy. I mean, it seems like I've been pulling teeth with my own client, but he assured me he was going to go down specifically to the location and get this matter resolved. And I do want to provide that information to Mr. Enriquez because I understand his position as well.
Yeah, and we had this discussion a month ago, and I don't understand why it's taking so long. If the court is so inclined, we can have I can file a motion to compel, maybe, I don't know, some kind of something, or light a fire under Mr. Arenas's seat so that we can get something going. But it is a matter of getting an insurance deck page, a declarations page, a policy. That's it. It should be a phone call to whoever he purchased it with and an email back to him with the coverage, or an email saying, no, you didn't have coverage. It is the easiest, most simple thing that you could do. Why it's taken 3 years is beyond me, but that's where we're at.
The court is, this is really one of my oldest cases, and it has gone back and forth. And you're right, Mr. Enriquez, it seems like I think there were some things that came up more recently, but they're not that recent, and there is no movement. So,
yeah, in fact, if I may, Your Honor, Mr. Vasquez sent me this week a deck page for his client. I've got a Geico insurance declarations page showing his client Ryan Howard as an insured, and I, after litigation and after a deposition, I'm just getting it this week. I don't know. That's a different way to practice, but what I need to do is send Geico a demand letter and let them know that they're on the hook and see what happens. But Mr. Vasquez will tell you, he just got this document from his client, I'm sure this week.
So we have one outstanding, at least one outstanding. Mr. Enriquez, if you're so inclined, file that motion to compel. Honestly, I'll have it set next week. Mr. Lopez, if we get that motion to compel, you can anticipate telling your client he has 1 week to provide that information. I don't know what other relief Mr. Enriquez might request, but this is taking entirely too long. There's no movement. With respect to the motion, here's where we are. Mr. Enriquez, if you get that filed, it will be set next week. Court will hear it. I'm kind of telling you where I am on that, and I'm going to set you for trial this year. I'll tell you, my trial dates are like December 8th and December 15th. Okay.
That works for me. That works for me. And, and there's only so much we can do on our end, I guess.
Myrna, please go ahead and set a motion hearing for next week at 11 a.m. on Wednesday. That will be via, I kind of want to do it in person, but I know how inconvenient it is for everyone. Quite honestly, I don't know if your client would show up, Mr. Lopez. We can do it via Zoom. I am going to set the trial date for December 8th. Okay. With a December 6th docket call. We'll go from
December 8th, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm.
With the docket call being when?
December 6th.
Very well.
I just want to have a date. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
You all may be excused. Do we have an update on Mr. Riojas?
Judge, I've called a couple more times, no answer, left a message. I also sent an email along with it.
Judge, I have a little bit of an update. I just got a call from my client after I've been trying to utilize his time to get him here. This case doesn't deserve a jury trial. I think we can settle it somehow. The major players in the case have settled. Okay, mine's a little contractor, and we ought to be able to settle it at mediation. If you could put me on that December docket call, I'm sure I can get mediation done in time.
You had a deadline. It was yesterday.
I understand, and I can go to trial, but not after my motion to dismiss because Mr. Riojas isn't here. But yeah, I think it's worthy of. I don't want to waste the court's time with a jury trial on this matter. But
please confer with Mr. Riojas regarding a continuance. I'm not going to move it until I see a motion and that there's an agreement.
Okay.
Have
I
that
will.
submitted, then you can
And
anticipate.
if I can't reach Mr. Riojas,
Please
I'll
don't
get the
interrupt
court
me.
note.
If there is an agreement, you can anticipate a December trial date.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Very much. All right, who's next?
Top of page 4, Judge.
Go ahead.
In cause number 2022 DCV 2128, Teresita Corral versus Victor Ramirez et al. Announcement of council, please.
Your Honor, Tony Diaz is here on behalf of Teresita Corral. Good morning.
Good morning. We have this set for a default and DWAP. We had this set for default previously, and I believe, talk to me, Mr. Diaz, there was some issue regarding the military status. Is that what it was?
Yeah, there were two issues, Judge. Number one, he had made declarations that he was in the military. We spent a great deal of time and money determining that he indeed was not. And the correct affidavits were filed showing that he is not in the military. I spoke to his superiors. They told me he was not in the military. And so then we had to address the second request of the court, and that is to reserve him, which we did. And I invited him here. So I gave him a letter with the notice of the time, the date, the Zoom link. I don't think he cares. And so we're asking the court to enter the default judgment.
So tell me about service on this individual. When and how was it accomplished?
It's filed there of record, and it was, let me get the actual affidavit. It was delivered to him at the residence at September 6th, 2023 at 3 p.m.
And it was hand delivered? Is that what it was?
Yes, they delivered it to the house. Let's see how she said she did it. She posted it. They don't ever, he doesn't answer the door. She posted it on the door.
And this is a residence that belongs to Victor Ramirez, is that right?
Yeah, he's the last known address that we have, and we hired an investigator. Everything we did led to that property. And speaking to the investigator, he heard him there and all that, but he just doesn't respond. And this case, we're not asking for any more than what he took. He took a credit card. Dr. Corral is an eminent, preeminent, I should say, cardiovascular thoracic surgeon in El Paso. His wife, Teresita Corral, is the person that entered into the agreement with Victor, and it was to repair a home that they have in El Paso. Teresita Corral trusted this guy. Basically, he sold himself as a Christian and all this, and she believed that. She's the former Miss New Mexico, and she does a lot of philanthropy. And so he talked her into giving her a credit card, and that he would draw as the process of the repairs on the home were taking place. He kept drawing money, but he didn't do any work. They crashed into the house. They tore the side of the roof up. It was a mess. They never did anything other than just destroy the inside of the demo of the house. And then he disappeared, but he kept drawing payments on the credit card to the tune of about $120,000 if you read the affidavit that Teresita Corral signed. And that's what they're asking for. And then they're also asking for my attorney's fees. I think for this is $450. It's a lot more than that, but it costs more to make more, affidavits. And then they're asking for damages, attorney's fees if they have to, go to an appeal, which I don't think he's going to do. I think it's going to end up going nowhere. But in any way, that's what she's asking for, the money that he took off of the credit card.
Has there been, I'm just trying to confirm, notice of this hearing, you're saying it was posted, it's that same Horizon Point Circle?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Between the time, the court allowed subservice back in December of last year. at that address. Between that time and now, I mean, has there been any contact whatsoever? Telephone? You've had conversations
He
with
doesn't,
nothing?
he doesn't answer anything, no. All of the, you know, his company contacts, everything that we've tried, no response. And Teresita had a conversational relationship with him, and still we tried contacting those numbers and no response.
And
But he's been seen around town. That's the thing that confuses me, that I guess he just feels like he doesn't want to participate, and he's, I don't know, maybe he'll file bankruptcy. I don't know.
Okay, so this is, in terms of the LLC, who is the representative for the LLC?
He is.
Where is that?
Victor Ramirez.
I understand, but where is that state? Do you have something in your?
If I recall correctly, it is no longer active. He just has a little card with the little fish on it and the name of that company. But I couldn't find anything that was, you know, active on the company.
Was the LLC served?
Everybody was served.
How?
Because, well, it would be, it's the same address. So it would have been posted.
Okay, can you point out to me where it shows that he is the representative for the LLC?
Let me see if I can.
If you know it's in a certain pleading, I can access it.
I do believe it's that in the initial petition, we do state that it's DBA that he's doing business as.
Mhm.
I don't remember how deep I went into that aspect of the. Hold on, let me.
So it's just the individual Victor Ramirez, right?
Yes. Well, it's individually and DBA as the LLC, but there really is nothing, there's nothing I could find that would show that is an active LLC. In other words, a lot of people do that. They form an LLC and then they don't do anything with it. And they think that if they have an LLC, that's a company, but the payments were made to him directly. And he said it was being used for the construction of the house, and he really wasn't constructing the house. And I know it sounds weird. How do you let that much money accrue on a credit card? But Dr. Corral and his wife have multiple homes, and they're not living in that particular home. So they basically weren't following the construction aspect. When they did find out and they contacted him, he would tell them, well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then they go back and they be back to square one where he wasn't doing anything. Then he said he was in the military. And then that's when we waited and waited and waited and waited. And then I asked him, could you please give me the information on your, actually Teresita asked him if he would give us the information to talk to his commanding officer, because I served in the past and I was in the, the Navy, so to speak. And I did this kind of work in the Navy. So I knew how to contact these people, but it was like a shell game. And so everything he told us and he was telling her turned out to be not correct.
Mr. Diaz, I'm looking at, I guess, a proposed default judgment that was submitted via email by you on August 31st. Is that the one that was submitted with what I am taking to be an amended motion for default judgment?
Yeah, that doesn't change at all. That if you look there, Judge, you'll see it's $120 something, $120,000. That's what he put on a credit card. He took. Unbelievable, but.
Okay, and I may have already asked this. I'm getting a little confused. Did we get any contact from Mr. Victor Ramirez?
No, Judge. Other than the initial tests from, oh, you mean on the filing here?
I mean, on my staff, from my staff. I want to know.
I'm sorry about that.
No, ma'am.
No, Judge.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grant your request for default. I have the proposed order from August 31st. It is being signed now and will be filed with the papers of the court.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye. Okay, are we waiting on anyone else?
We're waiting on the 10:45, Judge.